Hi, everyone. Welcome to a brand new episode of Not Aspirational. I'm your host, Hannah Aaron Brown, and this is the last episode of 2025, so I had to bring in a very, very special guest. Today, I'm joined by an incredible actor, writer, and lawyer, a fashion icon, a large reason why I'm respectfully pretty funny. Everyone, please welcome my dad, Jeff Brown.
Hello.
Dad, welcome to the show. How are you feeling?
I feel wonderful. Thank you so much for having me.
I'm so glad you took the time. Your busy schedule.
Especially here in LA.
Visiting me in LA to do
I had
this.
agents to meet with. I had
So many meetings.
Oh my God.
Especially over the
I
holidays.
got this in.
I know. Thank you.
Or can we hurry it up, please?
Yeah. Well, first of all, it's almost the end of the year. How are you feeling at this point in 2025? Are you ready for 2026?
Oh, yeah. Definitely.
Yeah?
Definitely. Yeah. It's going to be my retirement year, and I have a lot of plans for this year, at least the latter part, and then
Very excited.
thereafter.
You're going to have like an epic retirement party?
No, probably one at a nursing home, you know.
Just get a feel for it early.
Right. Like just rent out a room, you know, at the nursing home.
Are you excited to use
Mrs. Bernstein, come on in.
Come through. Do you respectfully already get like a senior citizens discount, or does that come when you retire?
No, it comes at 65.
Do you use it?
No, I keep forgetting.
You should.
For movies, I use it.
I was going to say,
But they take off like, you know, $1. I mean, it's like
what the fuck do I care?
right.
So my listeners wrote in some questions, but to kind of just like warm us up, I wrote a few questions for you as well. So I wanted to start with those. No, they're fine. They're fine. I would never like put you on blast on my show.
Okay.
I don't want to embarrass you, Dad. You're a star. Okay. First one is, who is one person dead or alive that you'd want to go to dinner with? Obviously, barring your loved ones who may or may not be in this room.
One person dead or alive?
Yeah. You'd love to go to dinner with.
Boy.
And have a chat.
One person dead or alive? Whew. Probably J.D. Salinger.
Ooh, that's a good one. Why?
Because he was very enigmatic in his personal life. And to see if you could tease anything other than his name out of him during lunch would probably be very interesting.
Yeah.
And to listen to what he had to say, because, you know, most people don't know what he was really doing for the last 15 to 20 years of his life.
I mean, Catcher in the Rye was important, like young Jeff Brown source material.
Yes, extremely important.
And Fanny
Actually,
and
all of
Zoe.
his writing was.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's a good one. Isn't James Earl Jones's character in Field of Dreams like modeled after J.D. Salinger? He's kind of a recluse.
Yes.
Yeah.
Only that aspect.
That part, yeah. You know, we were supposed to go to the Field of Dreams field when I was in like 7th grade, and we never made it happen, but it's never too late.
No, we never did. You were
Family
such a
vacation.
long drive. I didn't want to.
All the way to fucking Iowa.
Had to pull over all the time. It would have been awful.
Yeah. We probably would kill each other on a road trip.
No, we would.
It'd be fine.
Not for that.
I would sleep for most of it. What would your death row meal be? And I want a drink, an appetizer, an entree, and a dessert.
God. Special K. No. My drink would probably be a very dry martini, the usual. A shrimp cocktail for my appetizer. And probably just a simple filet.
Filet. Do you have any sort of butter on it? Like a
nice what kind of
like an
sauce?
herb
Reddish
butter?
Yeah.
Oh, like a red wine?
Yeah, red wine.
Nice.
Reduction, yeah.
A red wine reduction, if you will. Any frites with that?
Sure, a little pommes frites. I'm game.
And then dessert. What would you have for dessert?
one of Sherry Jaffe's chocolate chip cookies.
Nice. Okay.
Or Grandma Diane's brownie. Probably Grandma Diane's brownie.
Wow. Shout out to Grandma Diane. And listeners, that's my mom's mom, not his mom.
Right.
So huge, major.
She really was something when it came to that.
Oh, yeah. Grandma Diane makes a great dessert. I feel like, see, you have such an appreciation for desserts and sweets that I really didn't know how you were going to answer that question, because I know you love like a Boston chocolate cake, you love carrot cake, cheesecake, you love a donut.
No, I would say, I mean, because her brownie, now that I think about it, is kind of transcendent in the sense that it's very reminiscent, I told you, of my grandmother's brownies. So, and she came from Eastern Europe. So
they get it.
Yeah.
There's an understanding.
Right.
What is one piece of advice you would like to give my listeners as we head into 2026?
Oh my God. One piece of advice. Get comfortable underwear. Always be comfortable. No.
That's good advice.
I don't know.
Make the investment. I have a piece of advice that I think you would give just to warm you up. Always get dressed.
Yes. Well, it really depends on your background.
Yeah.
I mean, I did because my father didn't.
So it like means something to you to get
but
dressed.
if what if your father was always dressed
and then maybe
like insisted on you being always dressed? Then you'd want to hang around in pajamas.
That's true.
And there's nothing wrong with that.
So maybe dress in a way that's empowering to you.
Yes, that's good.
That.
I like
that's
that.
Good.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Any other advice, or did that feel good to you?
No, that's enough.
Okay, great. And what is, you kind of briefly touched on this, but what's one thing you're looking forward to in 2026?
Getting back to my writing and getting back to acting and writing.
Exciting.
Yes.
I love that.
Very.
Listeners, at some point, we don't have a date on the calendar yet, but my dad and I are going to act in a play together in Chicago. And this is not like horse hockey. Like, we're not just saying it to be like cute and funny. Like, we're going to do it.
Yes, we are.
Which is going to be really exciting. And I will keep you all posted on that.
Yes, I am. It's on my bucket list.
It's on your bucket list. So we have no choice but to do it. Even if it's like a brief, like weekend run.
Yeah, it would be more than a weekend run. I mean, if it's good, if it's.
And this isn't, like, I'm not even just blowing smoke up our asses. We're both good actors. We both care deeply about the craft. We're not going to put up some bullshit father-daughter variety show.
No.
It's going to be some good stuff.
We're hoping to do something from very good playwrights.
Yeah. With good directors,
real directors.
Because you said if you directed me in a play, I would kill you, which is probably true.
Oh, I would never direct you in a play.
No. And I appreciate that you know that boundary and you don't even have to be told. I once was a rehearsal assistant for a play where the director was also the playwright and he was also the star of it. And he was a fucking nightmare. And he called me a bitch once.
Well, first of all, if you're going to act in a play that you wrote and you aren't willing to defer to a director, you shouldn't be acting in the play. It's like any other setting where an actor is participating in the theater.
Agreed.
And, I wrote a play and if I can't find someone good to do it, or I have to cut back on costs so I can get a real director, I would do one of the roles.
Yeah.
But I have an idea of what I would like, but when we did the first reading of the play, the actors brought stuff that I never dreamt. Why would you want to tamp that down?
Totally.
And I wrote it so that it was an actor's play. I don't have a lot of stage direction. So to encourage them to really go after it.
I love that. For me as an actor, that would be like a dream.
Well, they cross them out anyway now, so why?
You're like, so why waste my fucking time?
Right.
Just going back to that director / actor / playwright who called me a bitch. Do you know why he called me a bitch? Can I tell you this? I think you'll think this story is funny.
What?
I was in this acting program that we talked about the other day that was very toxic for me. And I really wanted to set myself apart. And I felt like major imposter syndrome. So I dyed my hair really dark. I thought I was dyeing it like the current brown, but we went a little too dark because my friend like dyed it in my kitchen. Okay. And it was like black. And the next day at rehearsal, the director / playwright / actor was like, "Oh my God, what did you do to your hair? You look like a goth." And it wasn't just once, it was all day. You looked better before. It looked so much better before. Why would you do that? It just framed your face so much better before. And he finally, at the end of the day, goes, no, you know what, Hannah? I actually like your hair. And I said, thank you so much. I like yours too. And he was bald. And he said, you're kind of a bitch, aren't you? And the rehearsal assistant went, or stage manager was like, whoa, 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 whoa. Okay, that's enough. But I thought it was a good comeback. Like, if you're going to insult my hair all day long.
It's a ball busting comeback.
Yeah, I said, thanks so much. I like yours too.
Good.
Yeah, and that's how you raised me.
Yes.
Fuck them where they bleed.
That's right.
Okay, now for my listeners' questions. First one, what did you actively do in Hannah's formative years to build a close relationship?
What did I actively do? I mean, I think that's the beauty of our relationship. I don't know if I actively said, oh, we've got to engage in these activities so that, like take her to the baseball game.
Yeah.
We didn't have that kind of thing. I would say there were things that we enjoyed doing together, and we did those things, and that made us closer.
Yeah.
But I did not have a set strategy for either of you, really.
You kind of just winged it, and it all worked out in the end.
Well, I mean, I didn't wing it, but I mean, we shared a love. I mean, your listeners probably don't know this about you, but from the age literally of about 5 years old on, you wanted to be an actress.
Yeah.
Okay. I mean, that is what Hannah wanted to be. So we shared that, and we shared a love of good acting, and that was something that mattered, and I think it fostered that. And you were very funny, and I think tried to.
You fostered that.
Encourage it.
Yeah. You really let me like express myself and kind of do what I wanted to do.
Yes.
I don't think you were ever like, well, I'm into this, so you have to be into this. It just so happened that we had a lot of similar interests.
And
You're very anti that.
That's right.
Yeah.
I would defy anyone to call me a stage daddy, because we could have pushed you in that direction much more aggressively, and your mother and I were actually against that. So
you guys were very much like, finish high school, and if you still want to act, then you can go to college for acting. I think if I didn't go to college, though, it would have kind of wigged you guys out. Like, college was always.
Oh no, you had to go to college.
Yeah, that wasn't really.
You didn't have to act. If you said to me when you were 17 or 19, "Oh, Dad, I've decided," I would say,
I'm going to be a doctor.
I would have said, "Fine."
Can you fucking imagine?
No.
I'm going to be a neurosurgeon, Dad. Yeah, no, I always wanted to do this one thing. Okay, next question from friend of the pod, Brody. You know Brody. We love Brody. He said, you are such an amazing man, and I hope you are doing great. What are your top favorite movies? Brody, you just opened a can of worms. You have no idea.
Top favorite movies. Okay, how many do I have?
Let's give you 5.
5.
5, which I know is hard, but I think you can do it.
5 top favorite movies. Sophie's Choice is definitely one of them. Schindler's List, happy films, all.
Really uplifting ones.
Oh, yes. I have someone in the stands here who reminded me that my all-time favorite film is On the Waterfront.
On the Waterfront.
You gotta, a film like 29th Street, which you watch every single year at Christmas time, even though it's not really one of the greatest films of all time, you got to include it. I mean, you're lying to yourself if you say, I watch it every year, but it's not a great film.
Yeah.
In its own way, it's a great film.
And I think a great film, we've like argued about this before, but I think like defining a great film is so, there's, through a critical lens, like a Siskel and Ebert type of like, well, this was well done and da-da-da. But also if a movie is impactful to you and speaks to you on a human level, I think that makes it a great film.
I mean, you could put Citizen Kane on anybody's list because it was such an important film.
Right.
But
Maltese Falcon.
You know what else I would put on that list, even though it's kind of schmaltzy?
What?
Limelight by Charlie Chaplin.
You made me watch that when I was like 8.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was a 2 VHS tape movie, and as a kid, I was like, oh, fuck. I was like, I'm gonna be here for a while.
Well, it is schmaltzy, and but Charlie Chaplin's so great. I
You also made me watch Sophie's Choice at a young age, and you fell asleep in the middle, and you woke up to me just sobbing, being like, "Why would you make me watch that?"
First of all, you were not. I mean, I was
in high school.
I don't want your viewers to think you were 9 when
No,
I
was
made you
like
watch
15.
it. Yeah, you were older than you were 16.
Why do you remember I was 16?
Because it was when we watched it when I was living in the city.
Right.
So
yeah, it was your weekend. I came down to the city.
Right.
And I was forced to watch Sophie's Choice on a Saturday night.
I mean, here's the flip side of all this. I just want the audience to understand that there are certain movies I think any literate actor must see in their life.
Yes.
I have given lists of films, and many of them have still not been seen by a certain someone who will remain nameless. And I've decided, I've reconciled myself, instead of nagging her incessantly about it, is it's her loss. And she will someday see these films and then say, how could I not have seen this film earlier?
No, I need to do it. Honestly, that's a good New Year's resolution for me, is to check off one of your movies once a month. I think I can commit to that.
Oh, that's great.
I don't know if you remember this, but this must have been within the last 10 or 15 years, on a piece of paper yay big out of a little journal. You wrote a list called Movies You Need to Watch to Be Considered Human. And I found it recently when we were.
Oh, did you?
Yeah, I found it because I kept it safe in an envelope in a bin, in the garage. But I did find it, and I was thinking I should just frame it because it's sentimental, but also because then I'll be able to see it all the time, and I'll say, oh.
How many movies were on it?
I think 20, and there were checks next to 5 of them. One of them was The Godfather Part 1, which we watched together. Godfather Part 2, still haven't gotten to that yet. Oh, but I liked Godfather Part 1.
See what I mean, ladies and gentlemen?
Well, I have a lot of friends who are I can't get into The Godfather. And I'm when you reframe it as just Al Pacino's really hot in it, then you really commit to the story. And then you look at Apollonia as just goals because she's so gorgeous. She really got the short end of the stick. Spoiler alert. Apollonia got fucked. Gorgeous Italian wedding, blown up just to make a point. Anyway, was that 5? Wait, 29th Street, you said, On the Waterfront, Schindler's List, Sophie's Choice, put the Holocaust movies together in my head. And then, am I forgetting one? Is there another one that you said? The listeners are probably...
you know what I would throw in there?
What?
I would throw in Raging Bull.
Raging Bull.
I think
Robert De Niro classic.
Yeah, I think that's a great, great film.
I remember you had these old prints of the movie Taxi Driver that I had, and I think I probably still have those somewhere. There's no way I got rid of them.
I got them as a gift.
Those were cool as hell.
From, I think, your mom.
Wow. Go off, Mom.
Yeah, it was either mom or
Well, it's hard to tell different. Okay, next question. Jeff, when did you know Hab, that's me, was going to be a menace to society in a good way?
I never did. She wasn't. I mean, here's the thing. We took her to a therapist when she was 3 years old.
Really?
And the therapist evaluated her, and I can't even remember why, because she never struck me as abnormal.
Well, I couldn't sleep in my own bed. I was very scared, and I had night terrors.
Yeah, okay, I suppose that's a reason.
Yeah.
Anyway.
And I sleepwalked a lot.
She said, you should be happy that your daughter has a conscience at 3 years old.
God.
And so she never struck me as a menace. She's very verbal. She is one of the most emotionally intelligent people I know. And I don't think there's anything I'm more proud of than that.
I'm going to cry.
Huh?
It's really nice.
I'm bullshitting. No, I'm not bullshitting. It's actually true. And so a menace is just not a word that I would associate with.
I would say my most menacey, making up a word here, era was probably in my 20s right after Mom died. But you also didn't really get on me about getting my shit together. I think you were kind of she's clearly going through it and she'll figure it out. I think when I moved to LA, that was a little scary for you because, it must be stressful to have your kid move across the country, especially when they don't really have their shit together. But I figured it out.
Yeah. And here's the thing about you not having or being in a place of
I was a little aimless.
ill at ease is, I knew you would get the help you needed.
Yeah.
And Hannah was raised to understand that guidance is not only permissible, but essential at certain stages of your life. And both my children are like that.
Well, I am the type of person where like I'm dying for someone to tell me how fucked up I am. And so I love therapy because I feel like there's nothing a therapist could tell me that I haven't already thought about myself 10 times worse, to the point where sometimes Jake has to be like, God, you're just like dying to like come up with some reason why you're so horrible. I'm actually listening to this book right now called Are You Mad at Me? And it's about listeners. I highly recommend it. It's free on Spotify as an audiobook. But it's basically about how you grow up to be a people pleaser. And a lot of it is just that constant like hypervigilance and paranoia about like, what's wrong with me? I'm bad. Like this like deep seated belief that you're bad. So I like therapy.
And telling yourself you're bad.
You're bad. So I like going to therapy because a lot of it for me, at least at this point in my life, has been kind of disentangling that ideology and being like, I'm not bad, and like unlearning the shitty things I tell myself.
Yeah.
And being like, oh, I'm a human being. That's okay.
Yeah. And that, to me, and I've always said this, and I probably said it to you, the whole pop notion, which is not so pop anymore, but it was 10 to 20 years ago, this notion about loving yourself. I've got to love myself. No, you don't. Okay? There are parts of you that is really shitty, and this is true for every person. Look yourself in the mirror and say, oh yeah, I'm going to love the fact that I just cheated on my boyfriend for 6 months. Okay? No, you're not. But you know what you can do? You can like yourself. You can understand why you do things that are bad.
Well, I was going to say, that's the key.
But this whole notion of, because what loving yourself does is, and I wrote this, it's in the
in your play.
Yeah, that you jump the remorse part. Okay. You do something bad to somebody or people, you should feel genuine remorse.
Well, yeah.
And not shame. Shame is, I failed. Okay. And so I'm ashamed that I failed. Remorse is an empathic response.
It's
to
like, that was fucked
else.
up and I shouldn't have done that.
Right.
Okay. But I'm going to push back a little bit on this. Like, I understand what you're saying, but I also do think when you feel remorse to the point where you can't let it go and it's just a constant remorse loop, I do think that turns into shame, and then you can't move on.
No. I'm not.
You have to allow yourself to evolve. And I'm
not disagreeing with that.
Yeah.
I'm saying that you don't go from, oh God, I cheated on Bill, and then to, but I love myself anyway. You know,
I don't think anyone actually does that.
Oh, I think a lot of people do.
Okay, well, I don't really want to get into the nuts and bolts of why you feel that way, but
no, it's just it's.
I think holding yourself accountable for your actions and being able to, like you're saying, reflect upon them and grow from them is important. I think, but I do think, especially in this day and age with social media and everything being caught on camera and all that stuff, like that couple at the Coldplay concert who got caught. Cheating couple at the Coldplay concert.
Yeah.
I think it's like there is such a fear of making a mistake. And I think at the end of the day, you are a human. You are going to make a mistake. Maybe someone did cheat on Bill. And I'm sure that
Bill deserved it.
And maybe Bill had not listened to a goddamn thing she had said in years. And she was feeling unseen. And the way she dealt with it was having an affair. I think it's not as surface level as you're saying. I think it's nuanced, and I think it needs to be pulled apart.
No. First of all, I agree with you.
Yeah.
I'm not saying it. I also understand what you're saying about social media, but I don't, because I don't experience it the way you do.
Yeah.
Certainly that's a valid point.
We're going to make a mistake.
Right.
Sometimes.
Yeah. We all make mistakes.
Yeah.
And again, I'm not saying that you have to like hold on to self-loathing. I'm
Right.
simply saying you do
feel
need
bad.
to go through a transition and then you can forgive yourself. I don't even like that word, but you say, okay, you're human and it's okay.
I think that's forgiveness. I like the word forgive. I think you are conflating the word forgive with like coddling yourself and being like, it's okay, baby. Like you're
right.
And like, I don't think that's actually what forgiveness means. I think that's your interpretation based on like some extreme examples you've experienced in your own life of people who did something shitty to you or someone you love and has not seem to feel bad about
Right.
it. Yeah.
Right.
What is your favorite thing about Hannah? I think you kind of already said it. My emotional intelligence. Oh. If there's
Yeah.
anything else, go for it.
And your sense of humor.
Okay, I'm going to say my favorite thing about you, your sense of humor, the fact that you dress really well and you care about fashion. You've always been like, I respect your sense of style and self-expression through clothes. And also that you're very sensitive. You're a deep emotional well, and you cried 17 times.
Don't say
20
that.
But you shouldn't feel bad. I think that's a nice thing. And I think especially
First
in this,
of all, I don't consider choking up the same as crying. I choked up, okay, but I only cried like once or twice.
but also like, I need you to
Very
know,
briefly.
there's not someone listening to this. I know because I talk to my audience all the time in my DMs. There's not one person listening to this that's like, ew, gross, Jeff Brown cries. Like, that is like outdated. Like, I think in the male loneliness epidemic, I think people really want to know that like there are men in this world who can feel feelings in a deep emotional way. I think it's so much better to choke up, cry, whatever you want to call it, than to internalize all this sadness and rage and then do something fucking crazy that I'm not going to talk about.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
You know? Who is your all-time celebrity crush? I have a guess, but I'm interested.
All-time celebrity crush. Probably. Oh, man, that's really hard. Ash, can it be living or dead?
Yeah.
Ingrid Bergman.
I was going to say Ingrid Bergman or Gwyneth Paltrow.
No, Ingrid Bergman by a country mile over Gwyneth Paltrow.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Well, when I was growing up, you were like big into Gwyneth Paltrow.
I wasn't big into her. I thought she was attractive. Now I don't. I mean, she could be the most beautiful woman in the world, but her personality and mine would not exactly
You're a little
jive.
off-put by Gwyneth.
Yeah.
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 Ingrid Bergman, I remember I saw Casablanca, not with you, but I saw Casablanca, which is another movie that you love.
Oh, yeah, that should have been on the list.
It's on the list.
Okay.
It's top 6 favorite movies. We'll
Okay.
add Casablanca. I remember I saw it and I was like, I thought the woman in it was annoying and I thought she picked the wrong guy. And you were like, what the fuck is wrong with you? You were like, you can't say Ingrid Bergman is annoying. I was like, she pissed me off.
Well, and that's...
I thought the other guy was hotter.
Yeah, but Rick's the only reason she ended up going with him. Right?
really
Because he
remember.
says...
It's been a while.
He says, you have to go with him.
Oh, well, sure. Proudest and most challenging moments as a girl dad.
Proudest and most challenging moments. I would say my proudest moment was, it's not one moment. I would say it was when you both exhibited in the immediate wake of the divorce pretty remarkable resilience.
Wow.
Okay. I mean, it obviously affected you profoundly.
Yeah.
But you didn't act out. You didn't like suddenly come with, needle marks in your arms. And you understood, although when I think about us going to family therapy together now, it was comical, but
Oh my God.
that's another
I don't know
subject.
if
But
we
you
accomplished
were,
anything.
you guys were resilient, and, there was a lot to be said for that. And what was the first other?
Most challenging. Probably
Well,
our whole teenage years and the divorce.
Yeah. But even then, when I look back at it, you were not difficult kids.
Well,
It was difficult. It was good kids in difficult circumstances. And there's a huge difference.
I think having like hormonal teenage daughters is going to be hard for anyone. Especially because there were times where we lived in like a pretty small apartment where like for you by yourself, it was great. But when we were all there together, it could get a little tight.
Yeah.
With all of our feelings. But I feel like we would also throw it in your face and be like, do you know how good you have it, Dad? We could be on drugs. We could be drunk driving. Like we were really like, we're good kids, Dad, while being like a huge bitch to you. But like that shit is.
There was no question there was a lot of anger, and it got, and some of it was deserved. I mean, it was very difficult on me. I couldn't be the kind of parent I wanted to be. I really couldn't. I mean, I especially in the immediate wake of it. So you guys were entitled to be angry.
Sure. But also, like, I think it's important to acknowledge that, like, you did the best you could with the tools you had at that time in your life. And something that I'm really proud of with you and something I really admire about you is that, like, even though, you know, like, you're older, you're older now than you were then, obviously. I was like 9 when you and mom got divorced or whatever. But, like, you're constantly, like, learning new things and evolving in a lot of ways. Like, I think you're good at learning about yourself and reflecting on things. And yeah, I think that's cool. I think a lot of people your age don't know how to do that because it's a very humble thing to do.
Well, when you get to be my age, your defenses are pretty much set in stone.
Mm-hmm.
You're not going to find someone at my age greatly evolve unless circumstances dictate it. In other
Sure.
words, you suddenly have a very serious illness,
Mm-hmm.
and in that respect, old age is a blessing
Mm-hmm.
in a perverse way because you are going to have that period. If you're lucky, you're not just going to drop dead on the street one day. I mean, Kierkegaard, I think it was him,
Knock on wood.
talked about that, where he was one of the existentialists, and the idea of if you're lucky enough to be able to contemplate your death before you die, it's kind of a blessing because you get imagine the kind of understanding you would get in those final moments if you were lucid enough. But that transition, whether it's 3 years with cancer or 2 minutes from lying on the street with a heart attack and no one helping you or whatever it is. I guess the reason I bring all that up is because I don't feel like I've evolved lately.
That's interesting.
I feel like you understand yourself, but there's very little you can do about changing it.
But I think from my childhood to now, I think there's been tremendous growth.
Oh yeah.
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 Let's see. Have you experimented with Bravo, as in the TV network?
No.
He hates it. What qualities do y'all share?
We?
Yeah.
Well, I think we've covered it.
Yeah. Passion for the arts, sense of humor, sense of style.
And
charisma.
Resilience.
Charisma, but we also are constantly afraid that people are mad at us, and we do put our feet in our mouth sometimes. That's part of our charm. That's showbiz.
I really don't. Well, I shouldn't say that.
You get really stressed if someone doesn't reply to your text.
I have a sixth sense about when there's something shitty going on.
But I think that's anxiety sometimes. I'm saying that about myself too.
No, I understand, but I think that initial perception that something is askew is something you should listen to. I don't think it's generated from, I'm just a generally anxious person, because I don't feel particularly anxious anymore. Okay,
that's good.
I feel like if my boss is pissed off at me and just walks by me in a slightly different way, that's not me being paranoid. Something's wrong. And I'm usually right.
And then do you say, hey, why are you mad at me?
No, I go into my office and go, oh God, what am I going to do? Jesus. No.
I was once in a play with a guy who was 3 times my age, and I had made one joke. I don't even remember the joke. That he didn't like 3 weeks ago in passing. He did not talk to me for weeks. And it took me being I'm uncomfortable because every time you're around me, you shut down and get really terse. If I did something, just fucking tell me.
Did you say that to him?
Yes.
Good
and then
for
he was
you.
well, I didn't like this joke. And if you're throwing the word uncomfortable around, that makes me really stressed that you're going to, no. Because, I'm a young woman and he was an old guy. And I was just don't be a freak and tell me what I did and I'll apologize. And then change that behavior.
There's nothing worse than a crisis on the set.
I can't even get
I
into
had
that.
one in a real bad play I did. I can't remember what I ostensibly.
Just a bunch of theater kids with our feelings.
Oh my God.
Being forced in a room together. What was Hannah like as a kid?
The thing you should know about her that is in addition to what we've been talking about was, for some reason, well, I think it was because Hannah and I were close in a way that Alex and I were not as close. Alex was kind of mommy's girl and you were daddy's girl, if I had to divide it. Hannah would try to control the environment in the household so there wasn't confrontation, or she would try to instill it with something. And that led to her also being very manipulative, though.
Yeah.
Okay. And she felt responsible for the emotional well-being of everyone. Which is another reason, I think, thinking back at it, where we probably took you to therapy that one time.
Our daughter's a manipulative little bitch.
No, it wasn't that. It was like, I remember we went to Disney World and you wanted to go on this ride, and you were pulling the levers of everyone on that. Do you remember that?
Oh, I remember being at like Six Flags Great America, and you were like, I'm so sick of you making everyone else miserable because you don't get your way. And I was like, what?
Oh, I did say that.
Yeah.
Oh, good for me.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I could be a real demon. But I love that they say, what was Hannah like as a kid? You go, manipulative, evil.
No, I prefaced it by saying, in addition to everything else I said about you.
Well,
it was not the dominant thing at all. It was just
I knew how to control my environment. Like, I knew how to behave in a way that would elicit a certain result.
Yes.
Yeah, attempt to elicit a certain result. Like, I think also part of where my, like, sense of humor comes from, and sort of my ability to walk into a room and just sort of take over energetically, kind of let my charisma lead the way, if you will, is because as a kid, if there was tension, I would cut through the tension by entertaining people and being charming and funny and being like, I'll distract you, look over here. I'll do a little dance when grandpa's in the hospital. Like, that was my shit. So it's like a blessing and a curse, because it's also made me into like a massive people pleaser, where I feel like if someone's in a bad mood, it's my fault. It's because of me. I did something wrong, as opposed to like sometimes someone's just in a bad mood.
Right.
And it's not something I have to fix, you know?
Right.
And sometimes
or
it actually
can.
Yeah, and sometimes it makes it worse when you're constantly poking at someone, being like, are you mad at me? Are you mad at me? Did I do something? Did I do something? Because then they're like, no, now you're just annoying me, and now I'm in a worse mood.
Right. I don't do that when I feel that way.
No. Sometimes you just need to take space. Wait, also another story that I am going to make you tell is when I memorized Shakespeare at the age of 3, because it makes me sound...
It's so funny you
It makes me
that.
sound like a genius, and I'm not.
I was thinking of that as the other thing that you were notable for. We were in the car. I had read Hannah, Richard III's opening soliloquy in Richard III about 4 to 6 weeks before what I'm about to tell you happened. I'm then in the car 6 weeks later, and I said, now is the winter of our discontent. I said, what is the second line? She goes, "May glorious summer by our son of you." I mean, she like knew the next 3 or 4 lines that I've never known. And it was, I don't know if she knew what they were, but I think you were still in a car seat when you did this. You were 3 years old. That I remember. So you could have easily still been in a car seat of some kind. But your mother and your mom was in the car.
They were like,
with me.
she's a freak.
I was like, holy shit.
That and Othello, the "Beware my lord of jealousy, it is the green-eyed monster
that doth mock the meat it feeds on." Yeah.
A classic.
Yeah, I should have just like pounded you with Emily Dickinson. By the way, I meant to tell you, and I don't mean to do this but
What?
There's a play called The Belle of Amherst.
You told me about this.
I did.
Yeah.
Okay. No.
That I would be good for, and I should read it.
You should read it and do a monologue from it.
Okay.
If you ever need something elevated.
Great. Thank
okay.
you.
Go ahead.
Wait. Oh, also you made me watch the movie of Othello when I was little. And I remember being like, wait, isn't the girl in it Desdemona or something?
Yes.
And I remember being like, that name sounds like Esmeralda from Hunchback of Notre Dame, and I'd just rather be watching that movie instead. You also read me The Hobbit before bed, and I don't want to be mean to J.R. Tolkien fans, but that book is so fucking boring. But the
Don't let
illustrations,
Stephen Colbert hear you.
the illustrations are really, well, he's my biggest fan. He's my biggest listener.
Yeah, I'm sure.
But the illustrations are pretty. Okay, next. He's so handsome. Tips for managing grief. What does his romantic life look like? Lots to unpack there.
Wait.
Okay, first question. Tips for managing grief.
Tips for managing grief. I would say you can't run from it.
Mm-hmm.
You can't ignore it. You have to kind of just indulge yourself for a period of time and exhaust yourself emotionally from that experience and gradually put yourself back. I mean, and obviously it depends on what kind of grief you're talking about.
Yeah.
If you're talking about like the death of a parent, grief can be actually very, very ambiguous. And you actually grieve the fact that you're not grieving the way you think you should grieve because of that ambiguity. But if it's someone that let's say someone left you, you know,
like a breakup grief.
Yeah, a breakup grief. I do think you have to go through it and then eventually start asking yourselves, well, what is it I miss about this person? And is it something that was kind of polluted to begin with? Because there's very few people that there isn't something that was really unhealthy
to begin with.
Yeah. So.
Yeah, I'm going to answer this question too. I think my biggest tips for managing grief would be definitely go to therapy, like grief counseling. I think having some sort of community of people, whether it's like friends, you know, or some sort of support group, I think is huge, because I think the hardest thing for me was like the world just kept moving and I was still on planet grief by myself. It felt very isolating. And if you don't have someone close to you who's experienced it, I think it can feel really, really alienating to even try to talk about it. And then before you know it, you've internalized all this grief and all these feelings. And I think also having someone in your life who can just be like, this is bad. Like, I think so many times, like, grief makes people uncomfortable, so they want to move away from it or act like it doesn't exist. And I think Dorinda Medley said this on Real Housewives of New York. She's like, sometimes it's helpful to just have someone be like, this is bad. Like, this, what you're experiencing is bad, and this is a hard, bad time.
Right.
I needed that, as opposed to someone trying to be like, well, it'll be okay, and she's with your grandpa in heaven. And like, that might be true. I can feel that way now that it's almost been 10 years, but like that first year, it just fucking sucked. Yeah. And I also think learning the healthy balance of having a life still, even when you're grieving, like do fun things with your friends, like force yourself to like put on real clothes and get out of the house sometimes and give yourself some structure, but also not distracting yourself to the point where you are just running and running and running, because it will catch up with you.
I would also say something I would add to what I said before is I would read. Okay. And it can be fiction or a good psych book, because when you're talking about therapy, the other thing is group therapy, because one of the most beneficial things about group therapy is knowing that the experience that you're going through is universal.
Right.
Okay. And you lose sight of that when you are indwelling in your own misery and grief, that this is unique and God, no one else is going through. Well, the fact is, at any given time, there are thousands of people that 100%. Are going through real grief, you know?
Yeah.
And
it's like that. I think having that community is not only supportive for the person who's grieving and all the people who are grieving, but also I think wallowing in self-pity can kind of get in your own way. I'm speaking from my own experience where people in my life, granted I was in my mid-20s and a lot of people hadn't experienced what I had experienced yet, but I think people in my 20s did get to a point where they were kind of like, you can't go around being an asshole to people just because you're grieving. And I think like having having a community who gets it can kind of get you out of your own head a little bit and make you a little more self-aware about how you're moving through the world as you navigate it.
Yeah. It's the loop that you have to avoid.
What's the loop?
The loop is especially if it's a relationship grief of there's something else I wanted to say. There's something else I wish we'd had closure.
You have to give yourself
what is
closure.
Said or not said, you feel like you don't have closure.
Right. You have to give yourself closure.
And that's right. So the loop is got to be what's eventually kind of put into the background.
And I think if it's you're grieving a breakup, like a significant other, I think block them on everything. I think don't have access to them. Don't give them access to you.
Right.
And yeah, I think really getting to a point where you can internalize that, like, there's nothing you could say that's going to make this feel better, that's going to change the outcome, that's going to make you feel different. Because remember, if you broke up with someone or like a relationship didn't work out, they were incapable of giving you what you needed or saying the thing you needed them to say to make it okay. So you could talk to them until you're blue in the face, but like you said, it's going to be that loop of just...
And they're going to be incapable of understanding.
And then you're going to feel more insane and upset, and they're probably going to gaslight you. So just block and keep it moving and surround yourself with safe people.
Right.
What does your romantic life look like?
Oh, my romantic life is good. I met someone 17 years ago this May. Is it? Yeah. And, she has brought me a level of happiness that I did not think was attainable, and stability and growth that is the greatest period of my life, other than you guys. But in terms of my own personal, because, I mean, the thing is during the time I was your father
when I was little,
when you were little up to 18, was the worst time of my life.
Yeah.
I mean,
you were going through it.
I mean, I had all kinds of stuff going on, and none of it was good.
No.
And it was a very, very, very difficult period of my life. That 10 years, 15 years even, was very, very tough.
Turbulent.
Yeah.
Yeah, we love Woozy. She's the best. Then last thing, I'm just going to close out with this because I thought that this would be a good ego boost to go out on. Not a question, but a listener wrote in and said, okay, hi, Hannah, period. Your dad is like hot, respectfully. And that is, just want to let you know.
Someone just wrote it in now?
No, they wrote it in when I summoned the listeners for questions. Someone wrote in and said, not a question, but
how does she know that?
Because I posted a video of you to be like, my dad's coming on the podcast, to kind of get them excited. This is the person you're dealing with.
Yes. Well,
what do you want to say to him? And someone just said, your dad is like hot, respectfully. I thought you'd get a kick out of that one.
I get a kick out of the end.
Respectfully.
Yes, that is very funny.
I feel honored that I have attractive parents because without you, who knows what I would look like.
Yeah, but you could... I mean, and
I'm a Leo, so vanity is like in my veins.
You have other
gifts.
No, you have other relatives that are attractive.
Oh, yeah.
You wouldn't necessarily need
long line of hot people.
Both of us.
Dad, thank you so much for coming on.
Oh, it was my pleasure.
This was such a gift. I think you shared a lot of insights, some things that might be a little controversial to people, but honestly, you can't troll him on social media because he's not on anything. So you're uncancelable. Congratulations. Yeah. You did what I could never do.
Yes,
you can't be canceled.
That's true. I didn't say anything foul enough to be canceled. That's good.
No, I think the most controversial thing you said was don't love yourself, just like yourself. I'm team love yourself, you're team like yourself, but I think at the end of the day we got there.
And if you are a Chicago listener, Hannah will keep you posted on when we do the play or when my play is produced. Yes?
Yes, absolutely.
And that's that.
That's that. LA listeners or anyone who's going to be in LA on February 27th, come to a live reading of the comedy pilot I was cast in. It's called Rock Blocked. We're doing a live reading and an event here in LA. Food, drinks, vendors, activities, and then the live reading at the end. So link in the show notes for that. Follow me at Hannah Aaron Brown on social media if you don't already. If you love this podcast, leave it a rating and a review. Send this episode to a friend. And we hope you have a happy New Year and happy and safe New Year's Eve.
Yes.
Love you guys. Bye.
Bye-bye.